All right, thanks for joining here today. This video, I'm just going to be talking about the Ryobi versus the Dewalt String Trimmer, which one works better, and you know, what kind of issues I've been having with them. So we'll start with this Ryobi. This is the P2009 model. I've had this for about 3 years, and it was working good for about the first year and a half, I would say, 2 years. Last year I started having problems with it, and this is the 18-volt model. This thing works. It worked really well. The hard part about this is that after a while, and it's actually, you know, notorious that these are having problems, these motors in these overheat, and after a few minutes they'll just stop working. So it doesn't matter. I tried the batteries to making sure that you know, maybe the batteries were going bad, but that wasn't the case. It worked really well for a while, and overall I think this thing was about 150, 160 bucks. So really good value at the time. It worked, you know, for a while. The limited warranty is the same as, I think, as the Dewalt here, which I'm going to go over in a minute here. But what I really liked about this one is it feels solid. So it feels, I mean, it feels really good in your hands. But I can't even get it working. It died. So the motor just kind of gave out on it. Now there's different options that you can do. You can get like a heat sink, one of those heat sink devices that actually you can take this whole housing off. There's about 10 or 12 torque bolts in here that you take off, and you can attach a heat sink to it so it kind of absorbs some of that heat. But that's an option, but I think the motor just got burned out, so it just doesn't work anymore. So I'm looking at maybe replacing the motor, seeing how much, you know, that would be, if that would be an issue, or getting a heat sink. Those are really cheap from Amazon, a couple bucks. But I really liked how you could change this headline out. It's very easy to do. You just pop it out and you just feed it through. It's a point, I think it's 800ths thickness, the same as the Dewalt line. But I really liked this a lot better. It was easier to adjust, a lot quicker too. Because what happens is, let's see if I can get that. Up here, you just spin this little handle, right? To balance out the line on both sides. With the Dewalt, I'll show you next, it's kind of a little more cumbersome. It's a little bit different of a process. I mean, similar process, but a little more cumbersome. And I really like the feel of this one. This is about I think it's 9 pounds, the weight of this without the battery. And the Dewalt here that I'm gonna go over is about almost 7.5 pounds. This just feels really solid and heavy duty. It worked really well. And you know, for a couple years, I'm gonna see if I can fix this or whatever, but shouldn't be too hard. So we'll see. But anyways, that doesn't work anymore, so I had to get something different for this year, right? So I went with this Dewalt 20 volt. It's the T922 model. Now regular price at Home Depot on this is about $220, okay? The only reason I went with this, I know the reviews weren't the greatest. It was about four stars, I think, on Amazon. 4.2 stars, something like that. So the reviews were not the greatest on this, but I had such a great discount, family and friends discount, that I needed a new one. I wanted to try it out anyways, and lo and behold, didn't take long before I started having problems with this, to be honest with you. So it just feels, this is actually lighter. It's just the frame here. It's a little bit, it almost feels like an aluminum, like a light aluminum, and this is almost like a heavier duty steel pole almost. So that's probably where all the weight is coming from. This whole motor assembly though is just very awkward to me, and it's noisy, which it's noisier than the Ryobi, but obviously that's not really too big of a deal. It is lightweight, and it's got a folding method on here. So if you're, you know, have a good space where you want to fold this up, it just seems kind of pointless for me because I just hang it up anyways, and I don't really need to fold it. I mean, it's kind of a neat feature if that's something that might work for you, but I haven't really used it, so I'll show you how it works. There's a little lever on here, and push that forward, and then it folds like this, which is, I mean, if you have to like travel, I guess, if you have different job sites that you go to, that could come in beneficial, but I have no need for that, so I just leave it in this locked position. But started having problems with it. Now with this Dewalt, they say that you can't use it, you're not supposed to tilt it upside down and use it as an edger. So I kind of wanted to test that theory, and I think that's when I started having problems with it. It's not really balanced right, so it's not designed for that, but I have a lot on this property that needs edging. So that's pretty much it. And then this housing on here is just kind of finicky too. I don't really care for it. You have to, have to hold this base down and then spin this. But what I found is that with this trimmer line, it gets caught around this as you're spinning it, so it just feels kind of awkward. And pulling this housing up, it's a little bit, actually it's a little bit more difficult than the Ryobi for whatever reason, but it's the same thickness, 8/100ths of an inch. And then this, obviously it's kind of more of a pain to get it in, lock it in place. So, okay, now it's locked, so it's kind of a pain, but I wanted to show you the sound on this thing, see if it's loud, right? I guess it helps with the batteries in it, right? Oh yeah, another thing too, with this battery, with the Dewalt feature, the battery level's right here on the front, right? So when you go to press that, you can see where you're at. But when it's installed in the back here, in this housing, it's not, you can't see it. So you have to actually take it out to see what the battery life is like. It's kind of a pain. I mean, it's not really that huge of a deal, but it's something noticeable. And I noticed that, I wonder if they're gonna be able to accommodate larger batteries, because look at all this extra space right here in the housing for it. So it's just a very awkwardly shaped design, but it is lightweight, I guess. I just don't like the high and low positioning on here is kind of, it's a little tough to get, you know, to maneuver. But as far as the safety, you have to hold this down and press this. And I want to show you how loud that is. It's very loud to me compared to the other one, especially when it's slowing down and when it starts to stop. I mean, it's kind of obnoxious, but it is what it is, right? So I just kind of show you some of the features on this thing, and that's pretty much it. Also, too, I noticed that a lot of people complain about this. Some of the wiring in here, inside the housing terminal, you have to actually take, I think there's 10 of them. It's a T20, I think, or T15 torque bit. You have to take all these off and then pry it off from the back. And I looked to see if there was any kind of loose connection, which there wasn't. But in order to take it off, you have to actually pry it from the back first. There's a sticker here that's gonna come off, and this sticker has to come off. So it's kind of weird how that process works. Same with this sticker. So it's kind of hard to get this apart as opposed to the Ryobi. But people have said that some of the wires, it's just quality control, right? It's just bad quality control. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Would I get this again? Absolutely not. I'll probably just go with the gas next time, something reliable that's going to work and not give me problems. They have quite a bit of property to maintain, but that's pretty much it. So all in all, as far as the other issues, people do complain about the motors on these. They don't really last very long. So I've seen some put some upgraded parts on these as far as the trimmer heads on them and things like that. So all in all, that's pretty much all I have here for you today. So stay tuned and be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.